I'm pretty sure we can expect a lot of shenanigans with this little dude. So first thing, the bush.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how that's gonna work, but I can tell you setting up the bush is slow. So that's gonna be a thing that's gonna be a bit annoying for Teemo to set up. But I think later in the video they show setup, so we'll go over that.
And in the bush, he's basically invisible.
Yeah. So you were telling me, is that his normals? I don't think those are his normals. I think those are all specials. So here, that's really interesting. You're basically, if you look closely, he's literally invincible frame 1. So as soon as you activate this move, teleporting to the bush, you're invincible. So that doesn't do anything. And another thing they're showing off here is when he comes back, he does the air rolling thing, and it goes below the fireball. So they're showcasing two things here. So that's two things that are really cool about this character. So I think setting up the bush is going to be the problem for him. So here, there's a lot of ways he can interact with the mushrooms. But here he's like just throwing a projectile, and it also interacts with the mushroom, so it's really interesting. And I think that's the other thing that's gonna make this character really strong, is the fact that he can float.
Yeah,
and
I noticed that.
I think anything that like interacts with air movement. So as you can see here, he's trying to anti-air, or no, he's doing the air command grab, and he misses, and then you just get wrecked. And one thing that's going to be interesting with that is that you can call assists while you're floating in the air. So if you dare try to anti-air me, you're going to get wrecked, which is, interesting. So here, I'm not sure like what's going to happen exactly. Because you have to remember, this game is not only played online, it's going to be played offline too. So, I mean, it's going to feel weird to not see your character move, Because here, he goes invisible, and then he comes back, but I think there's a lot of things that he can actually do. But it's going to feel weird as the Teemo player to keep track of your character.
True.
Oh, yeah, and this is a mechanic that's going to be really interesting. And I don't know if you noticed that, the little badge over his head.
Yeah, it changed like his abilities.
Yeah, so I think, I'm not sure, by the way, but I don't know if Leffen talked about this. But basically, this move, did Leffen play Teemo? Because I know some content creators also play the champions.
He said he did play him.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you talked about this, but I think this move is very similar to a move or character in Street Fighter 6 called Jamie. So the way Jamie works is that he has to drink alcohol to get stronger. So I think the way Teemo works in this game is slightly different, but I think you need to successfully land abilities to power up set abilities. So in this example, you can see the pellet. Oh no, it's not here. Yeah, right here. So you can see the second pellet landing, and then once the second pellet lands, you can see the badge appearing.
Yeah.
So I think, and throughout the video, you see a couple of badges like that interacts basically with his other moves. So here you can see the bush is on fire, and then it bounces. The fireball bounces, which is also gonna be really cool. And his parry animation is like, see there again. So that's the other badge.
I saw that. Poison.
Yeah, poison. But I think the poison only appears when he does the dart thing. So maybe it's like a poison property.
Yeah, maybe it's a stat certain abilities to get upgrades on his abilities.
Okay, and that's another thing that's going to be really interesting.
So maybe do you think changes based on,
Do you think you can control Teemo in that state?
According to Leffen, yes.
Well, that's the thing. If that's the case, it's gonna be the first character that you can control during the super. So, well, no, Echo has something similar, but what I'm trying to say here is that if you play two characters, or I mean, if you're two players on a team, one can control the Teemo that's doing the super, and if you play freaking whatchamacallit, if you play Freestyle, then the other character can tag in, or no, not freestyle, sorry, double down, and the other person can tag in, and then you can control the Teemo player can still control the ult or the super, and then the other character can basically harass Braum, similar to the Jinx and Echo combo. So, but I'm wondering if you're only one player controlling both characters, how does it work with double down if you do this super? Because let's say you call your assist, you do this super, and you switch to the other character. Like, does Teemo like move by himself and then kind of tracks where Braum or the airborne character is going? That's going to be really interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they really made this character unique.
Yep. And that's the sauce right there. So I don't know if you noticed,
What?
but so in this game, usually the projectiles they clash, right? But as you can see here, Jinx is shooting and it goes through, meaning that the mushroom stays on the screen.
And
right?
What does that mean?
So what that means is that no matter what you do, you're gonna get mushroom, bitch. No, you're gonna get hit by the mushroom. Like there's nothing you can do. It goes to you, and there's and that's also one of the supers. One of the characters in Street Fighter 6 also has a super like that. Rashid level 2, it's like a hurricane, and that hurricane, no matter what you do, it's gonna come to you, and you can throw projectiles at it. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's gonna stay on the screen. So this super is gonna be really interesting, and I'm wondering, like, how do you outplay this? Because it just keeps moving forward,
Yeah.
and basically, I guess you just have to take it. I think maybe walking forward and just blocking it, but that's gonna be really annoying to deal with. I feel like.
Yeah, I like that little floating mechanic too.
Yeah, and here there's another thing I think that's really interesting here, is that, and I caught this during my second watch. Here, he drops. He does the poison dart thing, but Ari does retreating guard. You can see Ari retreating.
Yeah.
But then Teemo cancels the dart into some sort of, I don't know, like swinging move, basically countering the retreating guard. Because the first hit of this move hits. Oh no, wait. Does he hit? Let me see. Yeah, here I think he hits, and then it hits again, but low. So if you do retreating guard or you spam retreating guard, you get caught by this move. So this is a unique property that Teemo has. So he has the floating thing, and he has this thing where he can Kara cancel his special. I don't know if he can do that with other specials, but here he can cancel the dart into this spinning move, and basically he can chase people. So he's stubby, right?
Yeah.
Teemo is stubby. He doesn't have range. But if he has this, where he can cancel a special into like another move, that's gonna be really strong.
And he's got the frying pan.
Yeah, and yeah, he has a off the ground with the frying pan. So I'm assuming that's gonna be his assist. So his assist might be used like Vi is, where it's off the ground, OTG. And then you can see the whole freaking combo here. Oh, and this move, the last move here, it really looks like the e.honda butt smash in Street Fighter 6. It's literally the same thing, which is really cool.
So how's that different than like another down move?
No, it's not. I don't think it's different. I think it hits like a couple of times, but I think other moves in this game also hits a couple of times. So it's not special. It's just maybe like when you're in a combo, it's not gonna change anything. But if you're like trying to harass someone, since like if he can do that while he's floating, that's gonna be really strong because it looks fairly fast, so it's gonna be hard to anti-air. So I have no clue what that is. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
so I don't know if Leffen talked about that, but I have no clue what's going on there.
He said he didn't even know what that was.
Oh, he didn't know? Okay. So my theory is that this is this. So you know when a character is dead, when you call their assist, they have like a super assist.
Yeah.
And it costs 1 bar. I think that's what's going on there. Because you can see they're calling assists, and then there's another Teemo in the air that drops mushrooms. So I think that his super assist is gonna be him like flying around the screen throwing mushrooms. I think
the crazy part is he was acting like they didn't show any of the assists on the video.
Wait, on the video? What do you mean?
On this video.
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
So the crazy part is that he was acting like they haven't even showed any of the assists in this video.
Oh, that is true. Yes, that is true. Yeah, there's no assist. That's why when you told me or you asked me, well, Vincent, what do you think like about theory crafting, or who do you think Teemo's going to be good with? We don't really know. And honestly, throughout the video, we see combos, and I can tell you right now, these combos are not optimal. So I think that they're just showing off the really basic Teemo, but I'm sure this character has a lot of things in store for us. Like he's gonna be really a joy to like lab with, I feel like. But I believe here this is a super assist. I'm not sure, it might not be it, but it feels like the super assist. But the normal assists, I don't know what they're gonna be. Nice pen. So yeah, you can see that his 2H is interesting because you can charge it, and it's like it's basically him cooking something, and then at the last second you can see the oh no, there's no pan. It's literally just him cooking or like starting a fire or something. And here there's a mix-up. He's in the air, throws a mushroom, so there's no air attack, and then he wakes up and then get hit with the mushroom.
Yeah, this
is the fucked up part here, right here. This is where, because as soon as you have the restand from Blitz here, from that moment on, Teemo's invisible. So you can see Teemo here.
Yeah.
He jumps. Okay, he jumps and then he's invisible. So I think he jumps over here.
So he can jump while invisible.
Yeah, I don't know how long that lasts. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know if it's gonna be a time thing or a move thing, but you can see Illaoi actually switches side. Like you can see her moving from this. Yeah, and then you can see the camera moving, and then he hops again, and then hit her with a crosscut move. So that's gonna be, really interesting.
Yeah, also he has that like teleport mechanic too.
Yeah, that's the first thing we went over. Yeah.
Yeah.
He teleports to the bro. So here, the animation is over, right? But then there's like a last move here. So I'm not sure if this last move you can choose, because a lot of supers in other fighting games, you're able to choose your finisher. But here it really feels like, I'm not sure if we'll be able to choose how we end the combo. If that's the case, that's gonna be the only level 3 that we can do that, which is gonna be interesting.
So, question is, do you think people are gonna spam Teemo?
Oh, of course, dude. Everyone wants to be the devil. Everyone wants to be the devil.
This is the Evo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
So what do you think? You think it's gonna you're gonna grind him?
I think I'm gonna do it.
So who do you think he's gonna be good with?
Oh yeah, so I got some notes written here. I got some ideas from watching Leffen's video.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is my theory. I think Yasuo is gonna be even more popular because blocking all of Teemo's projectiles.
Yep, that is true. That is true. That is definitely something to keep in mind. Yep.
Do you think he'll be S plus like Echo, Jinx, Illaoi, Yasuo, or do you think he's gonna be too hard to learn?
Um, First of all, I don't think he's gonna be a point character. I think he's gonna be an assist character. First of all, just because he's very stubby. But I think he's gonna be a great assist. Like I think he's gonna be a great assist character. But how good is really how well he's gonna synergize with other characters.
Yeah.
Um, but if we're talking like super meta, I mean, I honestly I don't know. Like, I don't know because it really depends how. So my theory is it's gonna really revolve around the bush. So if he's able to set up the bush with like during a block string, you call your assist, and while your assist is hitting the opponent, then you call the bush. Then that's fine. But in this video, you don't really see him setting up the bush. The clip starts and the bush is already there. So it really depends like how long it takes for him to set up the bush. I think it will come down to that. And also we still don't know like his two assists. And I believe one of them is going to be a projectile. Most likely is mushroom, which is, very good. And I think his other assist is going to be the OTG that we see later in the video
Yeah.
where yeah. And I think his supers are very strong. I think his supers are very good. But here, yeah, here you can see the OTG. So I believe this might be right here. This might be one of his assists. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it doesn't really matter if this character is meta or not. I think this character is gonna be hella fun to play. To play against, we'll see. But he seems like, being invisible on the screen for like 2-3 seconds. That sounds very strong to me.
So you think he's Satan spawn in this game too?
We'll see because I don't think the meta has settled yet. We know that Yasuo is strong. We know that Echo is strong. We know that Illaoi and Yasuo is a great combo. It really depends how the meta evolves because the meta hasn't been solved. So I mean, it really depends. People are gonna lab crazy things with this character. I'm sure of that. One thing also that's interesting with this character is that I believe because after the OTG, he's able to keep comboing, and it was already a really long combo here. See, restand this, and then he OTGs, but he already did the restand with Blitz. So that means that Teemo has probably like a very interesting hitstun scaling, meaning that I'm fairly certain that here, let's say you have Vi that does the punch on the ground for the OTG.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain after that there's nothing else you can do. But here, Teemo, after all of this, after his first combo, and then the blitz restand, he keeps going with the combo, and then when there's a knockdown, he does the OTG, and then he keeps going again. Well, I think that's a Teemo unique property as well. So I mean, that's gonna be, that might be really strong. We don't really know. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to see.
So you don't think Juggernaut is vibe?
Um, so Juggernaut is very annoying to play against, especially when you're a new player. But right now, no, I think Juggernaut needs either a redesign or a buff. Because I don't think it's, and I'm not talking about Teemo specifically. I'm just saying in general. I think that Juggernaut is struggling in the meta right now. Like in the leaderboards, you don't see any Juggernaut. It's
Yeah.
mostly, but the other fuses are healthy. Like you see a lot of double downs, 2x, and freestyle. You see a healthy mix of those three. Maybe freestyle a bit below the other two, but it's a healthy mix right now.
Yeah, the top EU guy, Wawa. He's off that freestyle.
Yeah, freestyle is great. Freestyle is
I,
always gonna
I
be.
think freestyle is probably one of the highest skill cut. It's just harder.
Yes, Yeah, the skill ceiling is definitely higher for sure. Yeah,
Like you could do some
absolutely.
crazy stuff with that. People complain about the assists taking too long with the
Yeah,
freestyle.
the cooldown is longer. Yes, so that's that's definitely a downside, but it's still a great fuse. IMO, but it's still early. We're gonna see, and also the game is coming out early access October 7th, so we'll be getting balance changes. I'm assuming, so we'll see what happens then.
Yeah, are we supposed to get like balance changes tomorrow or something?
Oh, really? Well, I know they're taking down the servers on October 3rd, so there's gonna be a 4-day downtime for the servers.
Oh, for real? So no one will
Yeah,
be able to play?
you're gonna be able to play offline, and that's it.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
Well, so
It was fun.
so for synergy though, I was thinking.
Yep.
Well, this is what Leffen mentioned,
Okay.
and then I'll tell you what else.
Sure.
He said Jinx and Teemo could be like a zoner team.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
um. Well, with characters like Yasuo, I'm not really sure how good that's gonna be, but honestly, there might be like some double down shenanigans with the supers. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. Um, it really depends. Yeah, I can see a world where you play Teemo maybe point Jinx assist. Oh no, more like Jinx. No, more like Jinx point. Teemo assist. Jinx does the laser. Teemo comes in. You tag in. You do the big ass mushroom, and then you just rush down the other person, or you set up the bush while the Jinx later is on the screen. So there could be a lot of things with that. In practice though, it's gonna be we don't really know. It's all speculation at the moment, but it's gonna be an interesting team for sure. Like two zoners is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and then
For me, I think I'm gonna do when I first start. I'm gonna do Teemo as assist, or maybe point for a while, just see how he feels. But I'm gonna do Teemo as assist, and probably Yasuo as my point, just to see how it feels, and go from there. Because there's already really cool like OTG combos you can do with Vi. So if is assist is an OTG as well, well, there's gonna be synergies there with Teemo. And then with his hit stun scaling, it could be interesting to have like longer combos. So it really depends how that works.
yeah, in terms of trolling,
Yeah.
what do you think the most troll would be with Teemo?
Well, I think you know if we're talking viability, I think Jinx and Teemo, it's up in the air, right? I don't really know, but I think that it's gonna be very troll to play as Jinx and Teemo together,
But also,
for
I was
sure.
thinking Illaoi because the tentacles with
Yeah, that is true.
the walking mushroom, and
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like
Well,
there
yeah.
might be some synergy there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Illaoi right now is really strong. No, for sure. Absolutely. I think it's just gonna come down to like shenanigans with the bush and being invisible, and also abusing the mushrooms, whichever way you can, and then also powering up his abilities with the badges. You want to power up. I don't know how many like how it works exactly. Like if you need hits or if you need just um
So
like
that
it doesn't
that
matter if they
bush right
block.
there, it didn't seem like took that long to set.
Um, Wait, let me just see here.
He set it up like right
I
there.
mean, no, that's true, but that's like here he's basically giving up. a air combo to set up the bush. So you're giving up like a
Mm.
combo to do this. Because here he hits the anti-air. So you can see Darius right now is in a hit
So he
hit
got a
stun
combo
state.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's giving up on the combo to set up the bush, which is, you know, it's good. I mean, this is see that sets up the teleport, but you could have
That's
done
that
other
style.
things, being invisible, yeah, and stuff.
He was
But
just
I
trolling
mean,
on him, you know?
but in this game, dude, so that's a trailer, right? But when you play against someone that's rushing you, bro, like you've played against my Yasuo, like when are you gonna have time to set up the bush, bro? I'm gonna I'm not letting you set up that bush. So you're gonna have to find ways to you know set up the bush. And I think the bush is really strong. So if you can set up the bush with your assist, that's gonna be really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my point character right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've been failing. It's Echo. Mm.
Well, you're just starting out, so give yourself some time, man. Just it's good to learn other characters, you know? Like you get a feel for the character first of all, and second of all, you might, you know, see another playstyle that you enjoy and yeah.
And yeah, the last thing I want to mention is, yeah, if you can stack like poison plus bleed, that could be something.
Yeah, to my yeah, we still don't know what poison will do, but I think what bleed does, if I'm not mistaken, it just increases the chip damage, right? I can't remember what it does, but yeah, that would be really strong. Yes. But it really depends what poison actually does though, because we don't really know. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
All right, I'm gonna end the recording there.
Sounds good.